Welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to show that there is no pathway that the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, can win this upcoming 2023 presidential election. I want to show it so that it could become subject of discussion by Nigerians, especially those who think that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to have a runaway victory in the 2023 presidential election. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the presidential candidate of the APC, has obviously made up his mind from the outset that the pathway for his victory is through accumulation of votes from conservative North, that's Muslim North. Now, when you talk about Muslim North, we are talking about Northeast and Northwest. That is the area that Tinubu is putting his hope on to win the presidency, because he believes that if he can get block votes from there, he can be able to maneuver his way and get votes from other parts of Nigeria to become president. He particularly has a lot of confidence in Northeast and Northwest. But I want to burst his bubble because they have not taken time to look at our recent political history. The votes he is looking for is actually the votes that President Muhammadu Buhari used to get. Muhammadu Buhari is not going to be in the ballot in 2023 presidential election. But the votes that Buhari used to get, his traditional vote, is the reason why Tinubu is running a Muslim ticket, and it is the reason he believed that the northern Muslim votes will be a major catalyst for him to win the 2023 presidential election. But let us look at history. President Muhammadu Buhari started contesting election from 2003. He started contesting for president from 2003. In all these, he contested 2003, 2007, 2011, before he now reached a coalition that helped him to win in 2015. In all these elections that Buhari had been contesting up until 2015, he had been winning Northwest and Northeast overwhelmingly. But it had not been able to make him the president of Nigeria. Even though in his mind, he believed that he won the election. Because if you look at his political history, Buhari, every time he lost the election, he will contest the election until he gets to the Supreme Court. He went to the Supreme Court in 2003. He went to the Supreme Court in 2007. He went to Supreme Court in 2011. He was defeated in all these elections, but he was able to keep his votes intact almost in Northeast and Northwest. So Tinubu relying on Northeast and Northwest votes. If you study Buhari very well, he will know that he didn't make him president until Buhari reached a coalition in 2015. Now, I had wanted to use the 2003 to 2011 results to buttress my point, but I want to restrict my analysis to 2011, because if you go to INEC website, the 2007 presidential election is not there. Now that 2007 presidential election was the election that brought Yar'Adua in as the president of Nigeria. Even Yar'Adua, at his inauguration as president, said that that election was flawed. He set up the West Committee to reform Nigerian election so that they can be more credible. So I think even the INEC are not confident of that election result, that you can't find it in their website. But the result I'm sharing with you now is the result of 2011. And before I forget, even the 2003 result, you can't find details of it in INEC website. But the one I'm sharing with you right now is the presidential election results of 2011, which was a contest between General Muhammad Buhari of the Congress for Progressive Change, CPC, and Goodluck Ebele Jonathan of the PDP. And I'm restricting this overview basically on Northeast and Northwest because they are central to the issue I'm discussing. Now, if you look at that results, which is also a result that was published, I got this from the Reuters International News Agency, because even INEC, you can't get details of these results there. But Reuters have a result, these results, and you can bet is the authentic results. Now, if you look at that results, this result I'm about to discuss with you, Buhari won overwhelmingly in Northwest. He won all the states in Northwest with wide margin, even including Kano State. All the 7 states in Northwest were won by CPC. PDP didn't get any state there, so Jonathan didn't win any state there. Now, but when you get to Northeast, PDP was able to win only 2 states in the Northeast. And those 2 states happen to be states that are predominantly Christian: Adamawa State and Taraba State. Buhari won the rest 4 states in the Northeast. Buhari won Yobe, he won Borno, he won Bauchi, and they won Gombe. He won Bauchi, Yobe, Gombe, and Borno with wide margin. Buhari won with wide margin. Now, it shows that those areas, because these areas, if you look at it, when you talk about Sharia law in Nigeria, they are the center, epicenter of Sharia law in Nigeria. They are the epicenter of Islamic administration and what have you. They voted overwhelmingly for Buhari, and this 2011 election is not, it wasn't a new thing for them, because they have been voting, it has been their pattern from 2003, since Buhari started contesting election, to 2011. That is the benchmark that we are looking at right now. Good. But you discover that these massive votes that Buhari got from these 2 zones did not make him president. He could not win the election. Because if you look at the total results of the election, presidential election result of 2011, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan of the People's Democratic Party scored 22,616,416 votes. 22,616,416 votes. His closest rival, Buhari of the CPC, got 12,250,853 votes. The difference between the two votes is over 10 million. So Jonathan defeated Buhari with over 10 million votes, popular votes. Why did Jonathan have such a massive win over Buhari, who locked down Northwest and Northeast, losing only 2 states? It is because Buhari was rejected in North Central Nigeria. Buhari was rejected in Southern Nigeria. In fact, one of the reasons why Jonathan won easily was because the whole of Southern Nigeria, with the exception of Osun State, at that time, Aregbesola was the governor of Osun State. I don't know the magic he did, but Osun people voted for Buhari in 2011. So Osun State was the only southern state that voted for Buhari. Now, why this thing is important is because when the southern Nigeria is united, it is difficult for any candidate backed by the Islamic North or the conservative North to be able to win. Buhari is a typical example of this, I'm telling you. So, all the raising of shoulder that people from Northeast and Northwest used to do about Nigerian election, that they can always determine who becomes president, is because Southern Nigeria are not always united. When they were united in 2011, Southern Nigeria was able to put a president in presidential villa without the support of Northeast and Northwest. So you take note of this. Now, Tinubu has come around. He wanted to be president. And he believed that the only way he can be president is by getting these block votes that Buhari used to get, without taking into consideration the fact that Buhari had been getting this thing for 3 cycles of election until 2015, when Tinubu was instrumental in breaking the unity of Southern Nigeria and allied with Buhari, and they were able to defeat Jonathan and chase him literally out of Aso Rock Villa. Now the chicken has come home to roast. Tinubu knew what he did in 2015. The Southern Nigeria is not united as it used to be. The Southern Nigerian leaders, the Afenifere, the Pan-Yoruba group Afenifere, the Pan-Igbo group Ohaneze, and the Middle Belt Forum had said and reached a conclusion that the next president of Nigeria should come from the southeast, because that is the only zone in the south that has never had a test of the presidency of Nigeria since 1999. There were a lot of eminent people from southeast that could have taken the position, but Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu hijacked it with his financial muscle. Fine and good, he hijacked it. But now he has discovered that the only way he can be president is to get the block votes of conservative North, which is purely the Islamic North. And these votes, for him to get it, he needed to have a Muslim ticket. So he has to succumb to that. He has to work against Vice President of Nigeria, Asiwaju, a Christian from Southwest, so that he could emerge. And Asiwaju as if Asiwaju had emerged the presidential candidate of APC, there would have been no issue about who will become his vice president. It would have been automatic that his vice president will be a Muslim from the north. But Tinubu hijacked the position from him and promised Islamic North that he will run a Muslim ticket, because that is the only guarantee he has to be able to get their support. Good. Now, he has gotten the ticket, but he cannot guarantee that they will do as he said or as they said, because right now there are two Northerners in the race seeking for these same votes. You have Kwankwaso of NNPP and you have Atiku Abubakar of PDP. Tinubu cannot guarantee locking down Northeast and Northwest. And he cannot trust that they will do as they said. But even if they do so, it will still be handicapped, because if he wins all those states that Buhari used to win, he cannot guarantee that he will get North Central, Southeast, and South-South. And that is where the problem lies too. So he can't guarantee the vote from Northeast and Northwest because of the candidates from the North who are in the race for it. He also, don't forget that the vice presidential candidate of Labour Party is from Northwest. Already there are indications that his presence in that ticket will have huge impact in the outcome of election results in Northwest Nigeria. Now, Tinubu ordinarily ought to lock down Southwest for him to have any chance. But Tinubu, it doesn't seem that he could be able to lock down Southwest totally. Because even Lagos State, that he was governor, he has been governor since 2007, since 1999 actually. Have been governor of Lagos State since 1999, and you can also take it that he is still the governor of Lagos State since he determines who becomes governor. So he is the de facto governor of Lagos State for the past since 1999. There are fears that he may not even win Lagos State. I have listened to some of his strategies complaining about his capacity to win Lagos State as long as Peter Obi is in the race for the presidency of Nigeria. That is why you see the kind of agitation. They are agitated in his camp. That's why they go out, you hear about disruption of registration areas. You hear Governor of Lagos State Sanwo-Olu, saying that Yoruba should see the presidency of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a Yoruba project. That is why you see Tinubu sending his columnists to write all kinds of lies against the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi. But the problem of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was his own creation. And I'll tell you why. But before I do that, please, if you are new to my channel and you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel, anytime I have a new video, you will be among the first to know. God bless you. Tinubu brought the problem that he's facing today by himself. Because of his ambition to be president, he has to make sure that Jonathan was cut short from going for second term. He was among those southern leaders who conspired against Jonathan and formed alliance with northern politicians to chase Jonathan out of power. There are many people in Niger Delta today who will never forgive Tinubu for what he did, because he denied Niger Delta of the services of their son as presidential villa. Today, we know that Obasanjo did 8 years. Buhari is going to do 8 years by 2023, May 29. But Jonathan was the only one since 1999 that a fellow Southerner was the instigator, instrumental, using his arsenal of media to lie against him and chase him out of power. Many people in southern Nigeria who are still reasonable, because I know that millions of South Nigerians are reasonable people, but there are those who their thinking is only shaped by their stomach. They may still vote for Tinubu. But the vast majority of South people, they know the role that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu played in Jonathan being chased out of power. And even the person he supported has brought serious hardship on the people. And the South and Southeast people, they are also watching him, and they know the role he played. So his chances of getting anything from these two zones is zero. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not win one single state in South and Southeast. In the Southwest, he will struggle to even win because of the hardship the APC and the presidential candidate he helped to install in 2015 brought on the people of Southwest. There are still people in the Southwest who will vote for him as a result of stomach infrastructure, as a result of ethnicity, as a result of religion. But even that will not serve him well to be able to lock down Southwest, because he has polarized Southwest with religion. In fact, like Babashi Lawal, the leader of Northern Christian leaders in APC, who are opposed to the Muslim ticket of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, said that Tinubu is the person that brought religion squarely into the 2023 presidential election, because his utterances brought religion and his actions. If you will recall, and I will put the link at the bottom of this video, in May when Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was still an aspirant, there was a Ramadan lecture that was held at Osogbo. In that Ramadan lecture was where Tinubu suggested that the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs should create a political department that will help to produce a Muslim presidential candidate in 2023. And he want to be that beneficiary. His argument was that since Redeemed Church has such a department, that Muslims should also be galvanized so that the next president of Nigeria in 2023 will be a Muslim. So you can see how he brought religion. I'm talking about May 2022. That's when he said this. I will put the link of the Guardian newspaper and other newspapers that carried that story, which he didn't deny. Even at that place, his brother, the one that recently lost election in Osun State, the governor of the state, he was there. He said that he has been carrying himself to prove himself a worthy Muslim, saying that that was why that he has to do so because he is the only Muslim governor in the whole of southern Nigeria. That was his words. You read it in the Guardian that I will put at the link of the Guardian that I will put. I have to add maybe 2 or 3 because so many papers carried it. Maybe I add 2 or 3 newspapers down this video. And to show that he was determined, when he eventually got the ticket, because he said this thing in May about Muslim becoming president in 2023. When he eventually won the ticket, and it was time for him to nominate a presidential running mate, he nominated a fellow Muslim from northern Nigeria, instead of a northern Christian, as is the tradition to maintain balance, fairness, and equity, and the federal character principle. He did not. He went his own way because he was targeting the votes from northeast and northwest. That was how religion now become a major issue in 2023 presidential election. Tinubu brought it squarely in. Now, by that, he has alienated himself from many Christians, not only in northern Nigeria, but in southern Nigeria. How he's going to get the vote of these Christians will be one of the wonders of the world. Of course, many of us are aware about the so-called 30 bishops that attended the unveiling of his running mates and the controversy generated. These were all attempts to sow division in the Christendom. Therefore, Tinubu getting the vote of Christians, getting the vote of southern Nigerians is very, very difficult. In north central Nigeria, there is no way Tinubu will be able to break even because already Peter Obi is locking down that place. This is the zone of Middle Belt Forum, a body that is averse to what Tinubu stands for. Remember, in the congratulatory message that the leaders of Middle Belt Forum sent to Tinubu, they said in that letter, in that congratulatory message, that while they appreciate the fact that APC moved its tickets to southern Nigeria, that what they would have preferred is that the presidency go to Southeast Nigeria that have never tested the position. You can go and Google it, and the statement, the congratulatory message that was sent to Tinubu by Middle Belt Forum. Now, this is a zone that have been terrorized by bandits. Headers, militias, chased out of their families, out of their homes, their community destroyed. In Benue State alone, they have over 2 million IDPs now, internally displaced persons. Around all the Middle Belt State, there is no place that is safe in Middle Belt Nigeria or in North Central Nigeria. And they see Tinubu as a continuation of the Buhari administration, a continuation of the APC that have not been able to solve their insecurity challenge. As I'm making this video right now, we are in the rainy season. This is at the height of famine. But millions of people in North Middle Belt Nigeria, in North Central Nigeria, they are in IDP camps. They are out of their farms. Their farmlands have been occupied. And they don't have hope in APC. So where will Tinubu get vote from Middle Belt Nigeria to add to the votes, even if he gets any from Northeast and Northwest to become president of Nigeria in 2023? There is no pathway for him. The person that has a pathway to the presidency of Nigeria in 2023 from southern Nigeria is Mr. Peter Obi. Of course, that's why they are all against. That's why they are agitated about him. They don't know what to do about him. Mudslinging, all manner of things, allegations. They cook it up against him. Because Peter Obi is the only candidate right now that you can guarantee will lock down South, and Southeast and give Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu a run for his money in Southwest Nigeria, including Lagos. And they know it. If you read the hogwash that Sam Omose wrote in that his so-called obituary, you will see that he was making references that Peter Obi is presenting himself as the presidential candidate of Southern Nigeria. He is presenting himself as a representative of Christians. They are in panic. That's why they have to go and bring the issue of IPOB and try to link him with it, since there is nothing else they could hold a hand on. Already Mr. Peter Obi is taking over North Central Nigeria. So where is the pathway for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidency? Because even if all those that voted for Buhari in 2011, all those votes he used to get from Northeast and Northwest are to vote for Tinubu, can he meet the constitutional requirement to be president of Nigeria? He cannot. And he cannot even guarantee that he will get those votes. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not Buhari. And there are 3 Muslims seeking for that vote in Northwest, including a 4th one, the vice presidential candidate of Labour Party, Dr. Baba Ahmed. So there is no pathway for Tinubu to become president in 2023. That is why they are in a panic mood. That is why they have put all their searchlight on the man that is likely and most likely to win the election and have more states than any other presidential candidate in 2023, Mr. Peter Obi. That is the reality. You can put this video aside and store it as a reference point when this thing began to manifest. I was one of the first persons in Nigeria that said that Tinubu will run Muslim ticket because I was aware of how he has to maneuver to take the tickets from Vice President Yemi Osibanjo. I was the first person, one of the first person that could read it, that is the only way he can emerge presidential candidate, by promising northern Muslims that he's going to run a Muslim ticket. And of course, it was also his own plans, because he see it as the easier pathway for him to be president. But he didn't take note of the fact that this same set of votes were voting for Buhari since 2003. I've been winning them, but he couldn't become president of Nigeria until he reached out and got votes. If you look at when Buhari won his first presidential election in 2015, you will discover that he won Southwest, many states in Southwest. Then for the first time, he was able to win votes among Christians in North Central Nigeria, winning Benue, winning Plateau. He couldn't even win Nasarawa and FCT. But winning Niger State, which is in North Central and is predominantly Muslim, even though the population of Christians is up to 30 or 40%. Because if you look at North Central, they have been rejecting Buhari. Even if you look at the result of 2011 presidential election, the only North Central states that Buhari won was Niger. He lost in Kwara and all that. So this video is basically to show you, and I think I've shown you, that there is no pathway for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to win the 2023 presidential election. Thank you for watching this video. And please, if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button. Hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel, anytime I have a new video, you will be among the first to know. God bless you.